Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite mechanism in Pioneer Days, a new game from Tasty Minstrel Games that I played for the first time this past weekend. It is mostly a dice drafting game, but there are also engine building elements. There's some risk mitigation in terms of these bad things that can happen. And I'm going to mention a few of these real quick, and I'll talk about my favorite mechanism. So I'll hold up an image here where I'll talk about, this is kind of what the game looks like on the table. I'll talk about that risk mitigation for a second here because I think it does it well. One of my friends, Josh, noticed this. So you can see these tracks over here. These discs on these tracks, so these are 4 bad things that can happen. There are things like famine, there's like a raider track, there's a disease track, and a storm track. I think I actually got them all. And you do this dice drafting phase several times each round, where each player, you roll 5 random dice selected from a bag. Each player selects 1. For a 4-player game, and that means 1 die is left. And whatever color that die is indicates which track is going to move forward. So I like that it gives the players a little bit of control over which track moves forward. And because they're tracks, they're not like a bad thing that happens right away. You can kind of see these bad things coming. You can prepare for them or mitigate against them. For example, there's one track where it says lose half of your money when this raid hits. And so you know, okay, if this is going to happen, I either need to spend a lot of money in advance so that I don't have a lot of money to lose, or you might get a worker card down here to maybe mitigate that risk. But usually you just spend a lot of money so you don't have money when the raid hits. But as punishing mechanisms go, I think this is a pretty well conceived one. I don't know 100% if I love it. I don't know if it makes the game more fun, but as those mechanisms go, this is a good one. Now, my favorite mechanism in the game is a certain element of the engine building that triggers from the dice. So when you choose a die, the thing that you're going to do is you're going to place the die on the respective icon on this board. So see how you can kind of see it here, how this die says equip, and you can see under it, this is the equip action. And when you put it on the equip action, you can either gain the money. There's some money hidden behind this die. I think it says $3. You can either gain $3, and that dollar amount is different for each of the dice faces. So you either gain that money, you can take the equip action, which means just gain one of these equipment over here, or you can gain the, I think they're called maybe homesteader cards. You can gain the card that's underneath it. So there's like a personality, a person with a special ability, some endgame points, you can gain that card and add it to your tableau. So I like that there's all these choices when you gain the die as to what you want to get out of it. So that way there's a lot of choices. When you look at the dice that are rolled, you're like, okay, well, you know, do I want a lot of money? Do I want to do I need money right now? Do I really want to target one of these specific characters? Or do I just need this standard ability right now? But the triggering mechanism I really love here is that on most of the dice, other than the equip dice, there are icons on them. So here's, I don't know if you can see it there. There's like the prospector icon, and on the yellow there's the jester, and there's some other icons over here. There's like wood and cows and medicine. And on the equipment up here, and on some of the cards, are icons. So well, the icons are on the equipment. So the equipment might say, okay, whenever you select a die that has the prospector icon or the wood icon or the cow icon, gain an extra cow or gain an extra gold. Some of the cards down here also say, like, when you gain gold, do this thing, get this bonus. I love this type of ongoing engine building mechanism, and especially with the equipment. I really like the idea that just by selecting a die, like not just when you place it, but when you select the die, if it has a certain icon on it, it'll trigger the equipment that has that corresponding icon. This, for some reason, hits all like my gaming pleasure sensors of like when I gain something, just by selecting it, I get all these other bonus things from doing that. It feels good, and it gives me a little bit of focus when I'm like, when I have several good choices, basically, several good things that I want. It helps me say, okay, that's the thing I'm going to take, and it gives me a path to go on. I know, okay, if I've got this equipment that makes me good at prospecting, or makes me at least good at selecting the prospecting die, then I want to do other things built around prospecting that help and that contribute to that engine. I really, really like that mechanism. I really, really like it in Pioneer Days, and I look forward to playing again. If you have a favorite mechanism in a game, some of these ideas remind you of, I'd love to hear about that in the comments. Or if you have a favorite mechanism specifically in Pioneer days, I'd love to hear about that as well. Thanks.